and welcome back to the light side of the paranormal. I'm Alice.
And I'm Jenna, and welcome to a new series on our channel for the whole month of November that we are calling Clairvember.
So for each week in November, we will be going over all 4 psychic abilities that are called the clairs.
So the clairs are clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, and clairaudience. There are more than 4 clairs, but these are the most common psychic abilities. So for each week, we will be touching on each one of these psychic gifts.
Not everyone has all 4 of these abilities within themselves. Most of the time, people will connect with 1 or 2 more than all of them. So don't get discouraged if not all of these abilities resonate with you.
So join us through this month of Clairvember to find out if you have any of the main 4 psychic abilities.
So please enjoy this week's Clair.
Okay, so this week we are going to be talking about claircognizance. Claircognizance is the most common clair. So claircognizant means clear knowing. So when you just know something, you just know it. You know it in your bones.
It's like an undeniable knowing that you're right.
Yeah, you just know it like you've always known it. You just know. Somebody explained it as it's like the feeling of 1 second you didn't know this, and it's like a bird flew over your head and just dropped the information down your crown chakra, and all of a sudden, oh, you know.
Yeah.
You just know the info.
Most of the time you can't will this to happen though. I feel like I would have not failed math class.
Yeah, no, it's not like that.
It's not like that.
The universe is not trying to dick around.
Yeah.
They're helping you out, but not like that.
It's very, very different. And when you experience it, you know it's like, okay, yes, this is claircognizance, but it can be difficult to explain.
Yeah, it's not something you have to think about. It's just suddenly there.
Mm-hmm. So signs that you might be claircognizant. One of the signs is sudden ideas popping into your head. A lot of people say this happens to them when they're trying to go to sleep at night and it's keeping them awake. People often say that they get their best ideas, and in my case, my most creative ideas, during this time. To the point that it's encouraged to keep a notepad beside your bed. Because that's the thing, you get this idea, you get this moment of yes, and then you could forget it by the time you wake up.
It's often they pop in and then they're gone. You gotta
say it right away, write it down right away. In any case, not just when you're trying to go to sleep at night.
A psychic medium that I really admire, she always says, when you get it, say it. When you get it, say it. So when it happens, just say it, write it down, because it's almost like sometimes there's not enough room for more until you get that out, because they gave it to you for you to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Write it down, say it out loud, and then there's room for more to come.
Or you'll lose it to make room for more.
Yeah, so when you get it, say it. You might be a big interrupter. Mm-hmm. Not because you're rude, not because you don't have manners, but because
when you get it, say it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. When you get it, you have to say it as it's coming, or else it's gone. And lots of times you do this without consciously knowing that you're doing it. Mm-hmm. Or you're vibing with the person and you just are finishing their sentences.
Jenna and I do this all the time with each other.
Yeah, and I edit our videos and I watch back and I'm like, oh, I'm so rude. I interrupt a lot, but I can't help it. It's not a rude thing. I have to say it when it happens.
Because if you wait your turn, you may have lost that information, you may not remember.
Yeah. Another thing is that when you meet somebody for the first time, you just might know information about them. You just might know things suddenly without them having told you yet. And also you might know right off the bat, as soon as you meet them, what kind of person they are. Mm-hmm. Good person, bad person, but not even that black and white. Just you kind of just know what kind of person they are, what their values and stuff might lean, what directions those might lean towards. You just kind of know these things as soon as you meet them.
And just to contrast against what we were saying in our clairsentience video, it's not so much I'm feeling like I'm getting a vibe of what this person's like, it's just I know.
Yeah.
It's a very big difference of getting this type of information off of somebody. It's just like you just know.
Yeah.
I
It's
feel
very
like
confident. It's a very confident
very
feeling
clear,
that you're right.
Yes. It's like, all right, like I've met this person and I know this and this and this just based on this 5-minute interaction, and not because of things that they said, just because of no.
Yeah. And that goes hand in hand also with being able to tell or being able to know if someone's lying or being genuine or not.
Mm-hmm.
You just know that they're lying, or you just know the direction of where the truth really lies, and they're not taking that path to telling you that, you know.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's because we touched on that in the clairsentience video. It's not, I feel like you're lying to me.
Mm-hmm. It's not like an uncomfortable feeling of like, they're lying. It's just, I know you're lying.
Yeah. So people who have claircognizance are usually very logical thinkers, very logical people. They're usually writers or enjoy writing. I would even go as far to say as like most people who have very strong claircognizance are probably left-brained people rather than right-brained people. They are really good at like seeing a problem and knowing exactly how to fix it. Yeah, they're just very, very logical people.
People might come to them too to help them solve an issue or a problem because they know they're just good at having all the answers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you might have people telling you, wow, you just have all the answers for everything.
Yes, often.
Or how do you just know everything?
I feel like often when it comes to claircognizance, other people recognize it in you before you recognize it in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because they come to you for the answers because you've always got the answers, or they come to you for the advice because you just know what to say, or you just know what they need to hear. People recognize it in you before you recognize it in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Also, people who are claircognizant enjoy studying topics that interest them. Not studying because they have a test coming up or because, it's to do with work. They enjoy researching and, learning more about stuff that interests them. They enjoy learning.
If numerology or astrology interests you, it's a good chance that you're claircognizant. Again, taking information and seeing it on a map or on a grid and taking that information in is very exciting for people who have claircognizance.
So, just like the other clairs, when you're clairvoyant, you say, I see or I'm seeing. When you're clairaudient, I hear or I'm hearing. Clairsentient, I feel, I'm feeling. So claircognizant, you would say, I know that you are like this, or I know that you're doing this, or I know that you might be having a hard time right now, or instead of I feel like you might be having a hard time right now, your I know is kind of your go-to statement.
And I also feel like people who have claircognizance may not even say, I know this. They'll just very confidently and directly tell you the information that they know.
And growing up, or even, not just growing up, but a lot of people who have strong claircognizance have been kind of labeled throughout life as like know-it-alls.
Mm-hmm.
They might get the cold shoulder and stuff because they're looked at as people who kind of act like they know everything and they always have the answers, and people kind of resent them for that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But they're often labeled as know-it-alls.
And that's why it's so important to be careful the way that you approach your claircognizance in the way that you're delivering this information, because you don't want it to come off as like arrogant or
interrupting and
yeah.
Being rude and uncaring of other people's thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, and that's I would say one of the biggest struggles of having claircognizance is just the social aspect of it.
Yeah. So a good way to decipher whether you came up with this information or if this is psychic information being given to you, your ego, which is your conscious brain, you coming up with stuff and not psychically, your ego will use words like you should or you shouldn't do this, or you can't or you can do this. Claircognizance isn't like that. It's very statement oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Your claircognizant isn't opinionated, so it can't say you should dye your hair. Your hair is I say it so rudely, but like oh, you have grays, you should dye your hair, or you can't pull off that sweater.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to say things like that. It's not that kind
It's
of like...
It's not opinions, and it's not like your own like personal kind of thought about something. It's just direct, clear, very cut and dry information. Yes. Here it is.
So, for example, I had a claircognizant moment a weekend or so ago. I was hanging out with a bunch of friends. Somebody was talking about this person that we used to know, and she was like, oh, she moved though. She moved somewhere like to another country, and someone was like, oh, here, and she was like, no, not there. And someone was like, oh, was it here? And I was just sitting back. I didn't know this person, so I'm just sitting back listening, and they're trying to figure out where she was from. Then they got their phones out, they're looking, or not where she's from, where she's living now. They got their phones out, they're looking on Facebook, they're trying to figure it out. And then instantly I was just like, oh, and I forgot the name of it. So I said to my husband, I was like, oh, where was that place that we were talking about? And he was like, Singapore? And I was like, yeah. And my friend was like angry a little bit, which is not uncommon. She was very much like, how would you know that?
Again, with the social struggle of claircognizance.
Yeah. She was like, how would you know that? And I was like, I don't know. Is that where she is? Yeah, that's where she is. Why would you know that?
Yeah.
They might get scared a little bit, you know? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't have an answer for you why I know that.
Yeah.
But she just kept asking me. She's like, but how would you know that? How would you know
and
that's
you can't
where?
Explain
because I didn't talk to them though. Like, I wasn't participating in this conversation because I don't know this person.
You're just like, whoop,
and I was
Singapore.
Like, Singapore. And they were like, what? Why do you know that?
Yeah.
But I don't know how I know. I just know.
Yeah. So again, like, you don't want to come off as creepy.
Yeah.
Tread lightly with your claircognizance in social situations. I own a hair salon, and I have a client that has been getting her hair pink especially, but different colors of the rainbow for years now. She has always had colorful hair. And she walked in and looked at me, and without even saying hello, I was like, you want to go brown today. You want to color your hair brown, don't you? And she just said, yeah, how did you know
you're
that?
Scaring me.
She's just like, how did you know that? And I was like, I just had an idea. Like, it's hard to explain to people in the moment, right? Especially if you're not like, you know, watching us on YouTube and like knowing what we're all about and all that stuff. Like, to explain it, especially in a professional setting, without trying to freak anybody out, because you never know anyone's opinions on this kind of thing. I just said, I just had an idea that's probably what you wanted to do. And she was absolutely baffled by this, and we made her hair brown. But before I put it on her head, I said, you're not going to want to keep this. You know that, right? You're not going to want to keep this, and you're going to want to go back pink. And she said, well, I've had the pink for a long time. I don't think I'm going to do that. And then it wasn't even 2 weeks when she called me and goes, I miss the pink. So, but notice how I delivered that information. Very fact. You are, it's not, I feel like, no, it's, you're going to regret this, or you're going to want to have brown hair, just as some examples,
So when it comes to developing your claircognizance is associated with your crown chakra. So that is your chakra that's on the top of your head, that kind of, you know, you can do meditation. Wait, let me preface this by saying the first thing you should be doing is meditating. But what I was going to say, aside from that, is meditate on your crown chakra. So if you want to meditate on like opening up or like clearing out certain chakras, there's a lot of really good YouTube music with binaural beats and that kind of thing that will help the vibrations and stuff of those certain chakras.
And guided meditations for this specifically.
Yeah, to open and clear out certain chakras. So your crown chakra is where you get your information, your knowing information in your brain. It's not your feeling, it's not your clairaudience. Like, they all come from different chakras. So meditating on your crown chakra would be one good thing. There's not a lot you can do other than meditating on the right chakra for opening up, claircognizance.
You should practice interrupting people if you have something that you feel like you really need to say.
Maybe people that you are not like, I mean, don't be interrupting your boss.
Yeah,
or, like,
oh yeah.
people in
Oh
a social situation where it's like, I mean, maybe your spouse
Like
be
your
like,
friend.
yeah, somebody you're really close with. It's easier to get information when it comes to people you're really close with too.
And you could even say like, I'm really sorry for interrupting you. I just really feel like I need to tell you this right now.
Yeah, or warn them and be like, I might be interrupting you a little bit more coming up. Try not to get frustrated with me, but I want to try and get some ideas out as soon as they come to me. Just tell them. I mean, if they're your friend and your loved one, they're going to be like, cool. They're not going to judge you, right? But the only other real thing that you can do for this is set your intention and just kind of say, all right, I'm going to be more aware and I want more claircognizant messages. Put it out in the universe and it will come. And another thing you can do is automatic writing. And if you don't know what automatic writing is, it's just kind of clearing your head, having a piece of paper and a pen, and just write whatever comes to mind. You might be writing 3 pages of BS. It doesn't matter. If you have a question you're trying to work out, or a question that you sat down to try and find the answer to before you started automatic writing, there could be some good advice in there that you didn't know you knew. Or it might be a few times of practicing this exercise before you do it and you're like, wow, there's the answer right there on the paper for me.
And sometimes it will initially appear like a bunch of gibberish or a bunch of random words that don't make sense, but hang on to that because it's possible that something is coming where this could help you.
And then you'll look back and be like, oh, I didn't see that then, but I mean, some of the information was right there. A lot of people find it useful to ask a question before you go to bed and say, you want some information about this topic. Go to sleep. First thing you do when you wake up, write down whatever comes to mind, like be half asleep, waking up, grab your journal. It's really important to keep a journal beside your bed for many reasons, but write down what you get and see, if it's useful. You should be keeping a journal, everybody. You should be keeping a journal beside your bed.
Looking at you,
yeah, beside your bed to journal things like this, or ideas that you get at night, or for your clairaudience, if you hear things, or things where you thought you were dreaming but maybe you weren't. Write everything down. You would be surprised at the amount of stuff that ends up being right.
For all the clairs.
Yes, and you should be writing down your dreams too, no matter how stupid they are. And lots of people say, oh, I don't dream, or I don't remember my dreams. One day of remembering a dream, write it down, and it will happen more frequently. My dreams are so vivid, but if I don't write them down, sometimes I forget them. If I write them down every morning, it'll only take a week, and then I remember them every single morning.
I always say that if I wrote down my dreams more often, I could probably make some really awesome movies.
Yeah.
And like win big awards and things like that because of how vivid and like interesting, like not to like my dreams the best, but like
movies.
They're like movies.
A lot of my dreams are like
and
movies too.
Things that have never happened yet.
Yes.
Like movies I've never seen before or heard of before. Like I'm like seeing these things in my head. Anyways, so I think that like with all the clairs, you should have a journal, have a dream journal. I know that a few videos ago, one of you guys commented on a video that you were really curious about dream interpretation and how we feel about that. So here it is. We definitely believe in that.
Write them down, look back on them, and see if any little weird thing came true or is a bit coincidental. Have a journal next to your bed. You never know, whatever information comes to you, especially at night, because you are relaxed. I mean, for the most part, some people's minds just go crazy at night, but for the most part, you're relaxing. And stuff can come to you. Write it down. Write it down. And that's all you can do. Meditate.
And that's all. That's all we have for you guys. That's all we have for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching today's Claire.
So please make sure to give this video a big like if you learned something, or if we kind of helped you discover that you might be claircognizant.
Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this if you're into the spiritual realm, if you're into the paranormal realm, do you like ghosts, because we do, you should definitely subscribe. And click your notification bell so you can find out as soon as we upload, because
you also don't get notified if you don't click the notification bell.
Yes.
You will upload and you won't even know that it happened.
Yes. Always remember to
live
your life with love and light. We'll see you guys.
Bye!
Bye!